narcissism runs rapid towards fields of vapid souls beings, destruction of what makes us alive. Crumbling, our bodies break as we drift further and further toward a void of waste and death. A failure to recognize the signs, we turn a blind eye from our mutually assured destruction. A squandered existence, a blip in time, we've accomplished nothing. Narcissism runs rapid toward a bleak black end.
Hey. Let me know you guys can hear me. You know how these live streams go. How's it going, gang? Good to see everybody. We're starting to get some regulars up in this place. Cool. You'll have to excuse my slurps and my sips. I have a bit of a sore throat. And given the state of the world, anytime you get a sore throat, you start freaking out. Curtis, what's up, brother? Go to YouTube. Trying to tell these fools on Instagram to go to YouTube. YouTube sounds better. How's it going, everybody? I hope everybody's well. Chilling on a Saturday night. I think I'm done with this track. I definitely did some polishing up. I feel like in order to see, we're going to do some arranging here, guys. I want to see what you guys are saying, but then it looks like I'm not looking at the camera, so adjusting needs to be made. We can't move it over any further. All right, screw it. That's for another day. So we're hanging out on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? All right. I'm going to load up this video, or this track. Those of you guys who were here, yeah? You like those jazz picks? I was talking with someone else this past week about picks as well. And I think they're going to give them a shot too. Steve, go to YouTube, bro. I'm sorry. It's crazy how a different pick actually affects your tone. It really does. It makes you play a little bit different. Yeah. I'm not ignoring you, Instagram. You're just too far away. There we go. One of the best producers in the industry is in my live stream. My brother from another mother. Legitimate brother. What's up, Steve? Steve's here. Sergio's here. We got the regulars. The Cost Man. JJ's House of Jams. Curtis. Jeremiah's back. So those of you guys who were here last week, I don't want to dive in too soon, you know? I know everybody's like expects me to be late, so I don't want to dive in too soon, you know? Instagram, if you can't hear me, we're over on YouTube. Link in the bio. I don't know how people do this live streaming all the time. It's bonkers. But I really am glad you guys are here. To my favorite people, those of you guys who are here who don't personally know me, Everest Valens and Stray One, personal friends of mine. No, the new podcast is not up yet. I had a crazy busy week. That's something that I'm probably going to tackle tonight after the live stream or tomorrow morning. Everest Valens I've known since I was a wee lad in 3rd grade. We like to orbit in and out of one another's lives. When we get busy, we don't talk much. But we should probably change that. Those of you guys who were here last week, I don't remember if I had an outro for this track. But I solidified the outro. There was a clean break. Oh, actually, I think it just ended. It just ended with the clean part. And who was here last week that remembers? There's 10 of you guys here. Someone remembers. Refresh my memory. I'm going to bring Instagram closer so they're part of the fun. Hi, gang. What happens if I turn Instagram upside down? Am I upside down? I'm trying to include everybody, you know? Dude, are you fucking kidding me with this? Instagram, we're still here. No, Philip. You're just in time, bro. We just started. I'm waiting for everybody to show up. Fashionably late. Trying to bring Instagram into the party here. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe. Here we go. Here we go. Instagram. What up? Yep. Instagram's here. I'm good, everybody. I'm good. Got a bit of a sore throat today. So you know how that goes. You start panicking. I did have to actually go on a video shoot for work this week. We're practicing basically the industry standard as far as filmmaking goes for regulatory crap. Not crap, but we're taking it as serious as a real video shoot, so. No, I don't have corona. That's what I'm saying. When you get a sore throat, you just start thinking like, oh, great. So, you know, you get that tickle in your throat. You're like, man, I'm feeling a little tired. I woke up with a sore neck because I slept wrong, because I passed out. Put all those things together, and then a little bit of anxiety. Am I right? You start freaking out. So, what are we doing? Like I said, this track is pretty much done. For real. This track is pretty much done. The last time I played it for you guys, I think it kind of stopped on the clean part. So I completed the clean part, didn't do too much to it, came up with the transition riff after the clean part, and then I went into this outro thing, and I'm really kind of digging. So, you guys want to hear this? Let me see. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The man with too much money on his hands. Thank you. Thank you, Everest, for the donation. Let's listen to this bad boy, huh, guys? I'm gonna play it from the beginning to refresh everybody's memory. Let me double check that it's working. this dude. Bro. Everest with another $9.99. And this ain't even his genre, folks. Okay, boys. So that's the track so far. A lot of comments on the bass. And not a lot. Why do people do that? There was a few comments by one person on the bass. You guys want to hear this bass? We can go over the bass for sure. So you guys are seeing, how the fudge is packed, really. I cleaned up the staccato part. So Raphael asked if I did all the guitars and the bass. Yes, I play all the instruments, aside from the drums. Some people may not agree with my method for putting drum samples in my songs, but I don't know a drummer that can A, record their own shit, because I can't do it here, or play this stuff cleanly. So I have to rely on stuff like Superior Drummer and GGD. So, despite what people say about using samples and sample libraries, if it helps you complete your track, you need to use the tools that you have at your disposal. So, fuck all that noise. There on the bass, there is no room verb. The IR, this Ownhammer Ampeg IR, this one sounded a little roomy to me, and I think that's why I stick with it. Thanks, Heath. Welcome, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a drummer, so I need a fake one. And I know some people would argue that it sounds processed and whatnot, but I mean, I meticulously, I've explained this in a few videos and maybe on another live stream. When I'm building a track, I will use loops, what is it? So if we bring up Superior Drummer, grooves, we have all these groove libraries, thanks to my hetero life partner, Lenny, Joseph. He shares his Superior Drummer with me. So I take these grooves, I throw them in a track while I'm building it, and then when I feel like the structure of the song is close to completion, I will go through and change it. I'll make it suit the track. I'll go in by hand and add, like all these ghost notes and this hi-hat stuff. I programmed it. Now, I'm not saying that takes any level of significant talent, but, regardless, I did it. So this part is basically the guitar's just mimicking the bass with a 16th kind of pedal note going. At the bass. The drums are a combination of, it's 95% Superior drummer, and it's a kit that I've kind of curated and put together. So you can see this kick is a stack of kicks, and the snare is a stack of snares. So in reality, unless somebody uses my kit, which I've shared, you know, you can build a kit that's going to sound like your own sound. So, whatever. And then I'm also supplementing the drums with, I think I used, I've been toying around with GGD Invasion, and I'm using basically just the kick and the snare. So I really like the room sound of GGD. They did a wonderful job catching that room. And then all of the it's subtle. Yeah, the guitar part is my Solar A1.6 Artist. It's splitting the bridge coil, so it's got that real spanky sound to it. And I'm sending that to some room reverb. Yeah, so I'll show you guys some little production techniques that I'm using here. I have, these tremolo picked creepy sounds to it. So like, we'll listen to this as an example. What we got going on here? This one. Oh. Shit. If you look here, I'm sending that guitar that's panned on the left, I'm sending it to a delay that's panned all the way to the right. It's a very common technique used. So we listen to it. That's the delay. This gives it some space. And I do that with both sides. This is without the delay. Just a little bit more width, right? Setting it to some thick reverb. I want it to be ambient, you know? I want it to be like, you hear it, you hear the width of it, you hear it back there, but you're like not entirely sure what it is, you know? I think I got these guitars doing something simple as well. Got some lo-fi EQ happening. It's really chopping it down. And then this is the main riff. You know, this part is so simple, but like I love layering and you know, this arpeggiated thing that I'm doing is basically just that clean, you know, it's paying tribute to that clean part that I had over here. Just picking it differently. Sucker. I love that. I love this section. This yeah. Pretty stoked when I came up with these parts to kind of flesh this thing out, you know. And then we did some ear candy stuff last week. I added a little bit here in this transition. What's up, Dale? How's it going, man? I clean that up a little. Yeah, so there's some of that ear candy we were doing last week. I just added, that's the reverse cymbal, and that's that periphery sub drop. Dude, I've been working on these riffs for years. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to be redundant and be boring to some of you guys that were here last week, but I've had several of these riffs for upwards of 5 years, if not more. Probably more. Somewhere between 5 and 10 years I've had some of these riffs. This riff. So I've had those two, and then I had it going into this next part. I believe since last week I added this harmony. And then back into, this riff. So I've had these. I had this. Oh, shit. This one. And I had a chorus riff that I was just not happy with. It's not that it was bad. It just didn't fit the vibe of all the other riffs before it. And it always just went off into left field. And because of that, I sat on it. And then finally I came up with this. I'm like, maybe I'm thinking too hard about it. It's just got to be something simple. And I came up with this. And then, per my usual Swedish metal influence, I added some creepiness. So these. You can't distract me in here. The first guitar I recorded these riffs with was probably the Tremonti, the black Tremonti. No. Maybe. I don't remember. It was either that first PRS or the Tremonti. But yeah, so got the Swedish inspired thing happening. And then the juxtaposition of these two together. It makes it sound this thing even uglier. Everybody say hi to my wife. She's in here. Sergio's donated a lot of money, and so did Lenny. Because they're my friends. You don't have to donate anything, darling, because, well, you know. And then, more creepiness in the background. And then I came up with this super, super simple thing based on the previous riffs. this will probably just remain an instrumental. I'm so picky about vocalists, and bringing someone in right now to record vocals here would sort of be a little insane, having somebody vomiting their spit all over the place. Yeah, always. I mean, I've been in the habit of recording any riff idea I have, either on my phone or on my computer. And you never know. So this next riff, I was thinking I need something to transition back into the first blah, 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 that one. So it's super simple, just trots and then a little riffy part. And then it took me right back into this bad boy. And the bass and the drums during this part is sort of foreshadowing that last outro. Holy crap. I have a reason to go back into this riff. I can get closer. And I had this clean part laying around, and it's in a couple of my videos as like background music. I'm playing it differently here, but there's absolutely a video I have with some version of this clean part. So very much so, dear. Very good. It is very Opeth inspired. Slash, if not ripped off. I mean, it's got the kind of 12/8 feel to it. That means like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Sorry, guys. Hold on one moment. Koss is saying, Greg, dude, I don't think I'm big enough to like hold some sort of vocal challenge. It's a good idea. I don't follow any YouTube vocalists, and yeah, I don't know. I'm apprehensive only because it's unfamiliar territory, and I know I'm picky about the vocal style. I know I like to have a lot of control over what goes on it. I have the music I do have with vocalist. I recorded, I produced it. I was in complete control. So that is definitely something that would be a challenge to relinquish. But I'm not above it. I'm not saying I'm none of those people are worthy enough or good enough. It would take a significant amount of planning, and yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but I just don't think I could just say, hey, I'm going to hold this vocal challenge, The channel's just not there yet. One day that'll be great. It'll probably solve all my vocalist issues. I can have a different great vocalist on my stuff, But we're not there yet. And that's all right. So now the challenge is coming up with the title for this track, because I've been calling it Magoo for like 10 years. I don't remember why. At home with my family, I just say random ridiculous shit. So I'm sure that had something to do with that. Yeah. So now the next steps, for those of you who are making your own music, the next steps for me, because at some point you have to just like cut yourself off and say, okay, the track's done. I'm not going to tweak it anymore. I need to come up with the title. I need to think about album art. Let me see here. The last single I had an amazing artist and friend. You guys can see now what I've been listening to lately. This is one of my favorite tracks right here. What? The Nick Hill. Here we go. So, if we look at my singles, this last track was done by, a new friend but an amazing artist, Derek. He's in Arizona. He drew this character, and I asked him, I'm like, hey man, your art is amazing. I love it. It reminds me of like Tim Burton, and I get it, like, I hear Danny Elfman music, and like deranged Dr. Seuss. And I'm like, can you draw me something? And I sent him the track, and this is what he drew, and it was amazing. This one right here, Black as Metal. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. And then so he sent me the character, and then I had Scott, aka the Bun. He came up with the background and did the text and everything. He brought it to life. This cover I actually did. I had fun trying to do that. It's got like a digital type feel, and you can see person holding a phone. Thought it was kind of cool. Gravity is a cover that Scott, aka the Bun, did. Mitosis is also a cover that Scott, aka the Bun, did. And Scott also did the cover for my EP. So I've done one cover, and I've had talented people in regards to art do the other covers. So that's something to think about. Need to come up with the title, cover art design, and then you got to do all of the push, the social push for it, the social media push for it, and get it uploaded to DistroKid. And I hate sitting on a track when it's done. I want to just release it, but it's good to give yourself minimum 7 days, if not 2 weeks, for it to get pushed out to all the stores, so that when the date for the drop comes, for sure it's been distributed everywhere and it's ready to go. That also gives me time to, am I going to do a video for it? Am I going to do just a regular playthrough for it? What kind of content can I make from this track, to show all the viewers and all the subscribers like something useful from creating this track? And that's part of it too. That's a way that as a musician you can get exposure to your stuff, is using it in your YouTube videos, and that's what I do. And it's been nice that I've been working on this track, and I've been able to show you guys on the live stream the process, and it gives us something to talk about for an hour, So it's been cool. This is this is basically the cycle of why I got into YouTube to begin with. I had a bunch of music. I thought I was a pretty decent songwriter. I wanted people to hear my music. And ultimately, I wanted to be in a band. But having a family and full-time jobs and all that stuff, it's hard to do. Yeah, I think I'm good on how it sounds. It might be a little bit boomy on the low end, but overall, I think it sounds good. It sounded pretty good in a few of the different things I've listened to. The guitars are super clear. I was excited at how the guitars came out. I did something a little bit different that I don't think I've done on other tracks. A lot of you guys that were here last week know I have one guitar tone on the left and one guitar tone on the right. Now they were created in a way where they don't sound dissimilar, but that different tone adds a little bit more width to it. It's long. It doesn't need to be this long, and I know that. It's very much like all my other instrumentals, structured for vocals. But there is that. I was kicking around the idea of some lead work on a few parts. Something in the clean, but I fiddled with it for almost a day straight. Excuse me. And I didn't come up with anything I was pleased with, so I left it. And Scott said, the bun, said the middle part's probably a little long, and I don't disagree with him. He's right. But I like letting stuff breathe a little, you know? And I think, you know, I might add some sound effects and maybe like random scary spoken word in here again, you know? I've done that before. I did that in Narcissism. In this track, in the middle. So I could do something like that. I don't want to be too redundant, copycat my own self, but, you know, could do something like that in this clean part. That was just me. I recorded I wrote something, you know, totally metal about us being narcissistic as a society, and, you know, then I pitched them down and stuff. I mean, listen to this stuff on its own, though. You know, it's not super thick stuff. And I'll show you what I'm doing here. So we'll center this guitar. I'll turn off my processing. So I have some Pro Q and Pro MB. And now add the EQ back in. So if you listen to this raw tone, there's something, especially with these headphones, I hear a lot of the high end, and I think there actually is a bit of a high end bump in here. So I might be a little hypersensitive to high end when I'm mixing through these. Again, could be something that is considered a negative of mixing in headphones, but So I cut some of that high end. If you're on headphones, you can hear it. And what I do is I'll put the low pass on, or the high cut, whatever you want to call it, and I will close my eyes and start bringing it down until the point where I feel like it's changing the tone. Dude, I love Adam D. I love Kill Switch. I remember when he started mixing all their stuff, I was like, I want to see everything that he's doing. I want to learn. And there hasn't really been much behind the scenes, but he'd probably say the same thing. He's not doing anything special. But so what I do is I'll have this on and so to me it sounded like I cut some of that super high end stuff and I'm still retaining the tone of the guitar. Where did I end up? 98, 80. What did I have? 10.379. So, I was close. And then you guys can see this notch right here. It's obnoxious. See how much it clears it up? I have this Pro MB, which is controlling my palm mutes, especially in that gong, gong. You'll see what it's doing. It's keeping the palm mutes in check. And at most, it's cutting, somewhere between -3 and -6 dB when I turn it on. So the palm mutes, it's dipping that little section 3 dB tops. And we can even hear, that's what's nice about Pro MB. You can solo this, so you can hear what it's affecting. Yes. Andy Sneap, I believe, used a Waves multiband to do that. You can use the stock PreSonus one and get the same results. Yeah, so it's going down to 73 hertz. In reality, you could have this go all the way down, but I didn't want to lose all the balls in the tone. It's still sort of anemic on its own, but this side is 73 hertz, and then up here is 294. So, 250 is synonymous with mud in your guitar tone. And again, you're not getting rid of it. You're not EQing it out. You're just controlling it at the time when it gets out of control. And you can do that because you have two guitars doing it, If I was to turn it off, it would just be too much. So that's what I'm doing on the individual tracks. Same thing, too. Same deal. EQ, Pro MB. And then you can see I have riffs divided into sections. And I do that to basically control volume when I'm doing layering. I could probably get away with keeping, this section and this section and this section and this section all together. But sometimes, depending on the riff, I hear a perceived volume difference. And instead of doing like automation and, writing it in, this is the way I control it. Probably overkill. Other easier ways to do it. So if I put this back to the left, on this bus, I have the SSL EQ from Waves. And what I'm doing here is I'm boosting about 1 dB at 8K. And then I'm boosting about 1 dB at 1.5K. And I think I do that even in my Helix tones often. A little bit of boost at 2K, a little bit of boost at 8K. And it just brightens it up. So we'll hear how that sounds with and without, okay? This riff. So, it may seem a little silly because I cut out some of that high end, but then I'm adding a little bit of it back. But, my mic is quiet. Yeah, I need a cloud lifter for this microphone. Sorry. I was sitting back too. So the point I was trying to make is the guitars aren't super scooped and boomy and low end, this part especially, there's a lot happening here, low end wise, if I wasn't to harness it. But we add that bass in. I don't know that I'm super pleased with what I played here in the bass. Yeah, so panning wise, the main riffs are always panned hard left, hard right. These ambient riffs, in this case, are panned hard left and hard right. This one. Sometimes with ambient melodies that I throw over to layer, I might bring it in. But in this case, for this particular riff, these are hard panned also. But I think these, so these are at 80. So, if full left and full right is 100, these are at 80. So the main guitar is at 80, but I have delay on each of those and then reverb. So it's just a big swell of noise, basically. Yeah, the bass player in me, I love playing bass. I played bass in a band years and years ago. Some of my favorite musicians before guitar players were bass players. Lemmy is one of my biggest inspirations, and I don't always like mirroring the guitars. So in this part, I'm not. I am, but I'm not. I'm playing the octave. And depending on the riff, for me, this part didn't need the bass doing anything crazy. And the reason why I said I don't know if I'm completely hot on what I'm playing is because I think maybe it just needs to be open. Dig-a-dun dun, dig-a-dun, dig-a-dun dun dun, dig-a-dun dun, dun. Instead I'm going boom, boom. But it works. It doesn't sound bad. And I think I just wanted to be able to hear that high-end chime of the bass. You know, that bell. I mean, I'm doing kind of a crap load to this bass. We can go over it a bit. As I'm definitely someone who so bear with me a sec, guys. I'll pull up my bass tone. So this bass is like a $300 bass new. Squier Jaguar bass. It has active pickups or an active EQ. Kinda noisy, but help if I plugged in everything. So hopefully you guys can hear this. Let me mute my mic for a second. Sorry, my mic's muted. I was saying make sure your battery is not dead. I change the battery on this often. I'm using elixirs because I've told you guys I have a sweating issue, but the elixirs have a nice round brightness to them, and they stay clean. I'm doing some significant processing. I mean, yeah, I'll say significant. I am doing some significant processing to my bass tone in my tracks. This is the raw tone of the bass. Okay, so I have this volume here because when I play I have a 5-string Fender over there that's on like sort of semi-permanent loan from one of my best friend Dave. That the output of those pickups is like, I think there's something wrong with it. It's just terrible. So I threw this volume block on there for that bass. I don't use it for this, but I'm going into the Obsidian 7000. Some of you guys might have this patch. I've shared it, I believe, for my members. These are the settings. I'll leave it up here for a little bit. Like if I turn this off, just the patch tone. Going into the Ampeg. When I played bass in a band, I used the Ampeg. Geez, Greg, that'll probably be something I should share with the members, huh? My bass tone? I feel like I might have. I'll have to look into that. I'll check Patreon and the YouTube memberships to see if I shared that. But I think you guys could stand to benefit from this. With the fifth string, you know, you lose. It's tough because with that fifth string, you know, the higher the gauge of that fifth string, you're going to lose definition. So I try to go for the lightest possible strings I can for the tuning I'm in. That's a contributing factor. Stainless steel strings for a bass are tough on frets, but bright in tone. Something to consider there as well. Oh, and the IR, I'm using the OH410 SVT 10 cut dynamic. I love Own Hammers. I mean, first of all, again, not sponsored by them, just love their stuff. I love their Ampeg pack. You should, if you're recording your own bass, do yourself a favor, pick up Own Hammers Ampeg SVT pack. It's worth getting it and checking it out. I'll give you guys the link as a matter of fact. Yeah, I mean, it's only $30 and you're getting a ton. You're getting a ton. Give that a shot. I say it's only $30, not insinuating that it's not, that could potentially be too much money, but I mean, you're getting, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, you're getting 9 speakers in 2 cabinets with 7 different mics. You know, they even mic it with a sub kick. So a 210 and a 410. You'll get everything you need, I think. Check it out. It's worth checking out. What do I got going for this EQ? Is it on? It's on. I'm cutting the lows at 80 and the high cut at 10K. So there's the bass, and on my bass, I do have quite a bit of processing going on. I got virtual mix rack with this revival. The shimmer is all the way cranked on this thing. I'm doing some compression, some light compression, and then I'm adding more high end with the air EQ. So if we listen to this, So I'll turn this off. Actually, I probably should turn all these off. Okay, so that's that, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. When I play bass, I play with this really, really, really thin, a really thin Jim Dunlop pick. Very, very thin. Very thin. As thin as I can possibly get it. It's almost impossible to play with, but I feel like it adds some snap, and you're not pulling the string severely out of tune. So it's a forearm workout for sure when I'm playing, like, what's that riff? Oh, man. Sloppy. Haven't played today. So then I add in the virtual mix rack. And again, I got this shimmer all the way up. Some compression. You'll see some gain reduction here. And then adding more with this air EQ. So that right there is basically highlighting and enhancing all the high end of that helix tone. Then I'm doing, this looks insane, but it's not that insane. What's up, buddy? How are you doing? So you'll see I have the EQ off. You'll see the waveform. And you'll see that my cuts aren't going to really change it that dramatically. So I'll turn it on but bypass it. So if I turn on the EQ, I'm cutting off some low end. 47 hertz. I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it. And then mud and some resonant frequencies. So let's listen to what that's doing. You more than likely cannot hear that. But that's energy that I don't want in the mix. Some mud. Just fart. This one really isn't doing anything. Not much. Again, a little more farty. Could probably stand to leave a little bit more of that in, but also, like, I mean, the guitar is right there. It's right there, you know? And then with this particular tone, with that B7K model on the Helix, gets a little whistly. That's what these are getting rid of. Ugly. Cleans it right up. Then I'm going to the L1 limiter, and I'm doing this because I basically want to make a big frickin' sausage of sound. Thanks for stopping by, Dale. Yeah, I got to do the same thing. I got to go pretty quick here, but I'm nerding out. So thanks for stopping by. Go take care of the kid. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for being here, man. What are we at? Hour 30, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this bass talk up. Going into the L1. It's slamming it. It's slamming this thing. That's more than I usually do. Oh, idiot. It's off. We'll turn it on now. You'll see what it's doing. It's just basically trying to level all the bass playing out. So see, that's leveling everything off. Then I have this Pro MB, and I have it side chained with the kick. I'm not going yet. We'll finish up what I'm talking about. Side chaining from the kick, so when the kick hits, it's dipping these super low end frequencies below 131 hertz. And then I'm doing some last minute controlling of the low end. I can't even hear that. Yeah, it's just like nasty pops. And then, so that's it. I mean, it looks like a lot. The most is happening with the virtual mix rack, but the rest is just controlling. How am I triggering that? That's a good question. That's a good question. Let me see. I honestly don't know. Huh. I'm not sure where this. I might actually. Huh. That's a good question. Now it's kind of baffling because it is moving along with the kick. But 'tis a mystery. Huh. Not sure. I can trace it back, but I'm tired. And I can't think straight. So yeah. This workhorse of a bass definitely got my money's worth. Oh, Greg, we were talking. You hit me with that email about mini amps and how I want to at some point get the channel to a point where I can play around with mini amps in conjunction with the Helix, or take mini amps and go into some sort of load box. We were talking load boxes through email. PV makes the Invictive mini head that has an output that you can just send to, I think, your computer via USB, or out some sort of XLR jack to an interface. So it has sort of an attenuation built in, or it puts a load on the speaker system to allow you to do that. And you mentioned that the load box will affect the tone. So what do you think about something like that, where it allows you to go direct to a computer without having cabinet necessarily plugged in? Do you think that's going to have an effect on the tone as far as what you would get going into a cab? That's my question for you before I go. Right. So as long as this amp... Right. Right, the hot plate. That's what you said. If you have time tomorrow, check out the PV Invictive. Well, either one. They have the big boy, 120 watt one, but I'm specifically talking about the PV Invictive mini head. I think it has the capability where you don't need to go into a load box. It does it for you, and then you can go into your... Yes, that's it. The Misha mini amp. Check that one out. That's the one I'm looking at. To just play with at some point. So obviously we'll have to do way more live streams and way more $30 live streams to get one of those, but something I'm looking into. So I'm going to close this out. Do not save. Okay, so you will get, if you were to run that into, we'll use the hot plate as an example. Run that into the hot plate, then the hot plate into my interface. I would get a better tone, you think? Either way, it's sounding like if I want to play with amps in the future, then I need to look into getting this hot plate, huh? Okay. No, I believe you. I know nothing about... The last amp head I had was an Ampeg. So Can you get the hot plate new anymore? Got it. Have you heard anything about the torpedo captor? I'm wondering. It's a reactive load box. Yep, I just saw one on Reverb for $199. I would imagine though that those, depending on the usage, might wear out a little, right? Okay. Something to look into. But what is the hot plate is a space heater? Because I can use that sometimes. I'm gonna cut, yeah. Before I start diving back in with Greg, I'm gonna get off, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all the donations for my friends. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, definitely see you guys next week. I have a video for you members, as a matter of fact. When I'm done here, I'll share it for my members. Monday's video I'm going to share for you. Philip, take it easy, brother. Yeah, so you guys who are members and Patreon subscribers, you'll see the video tonight. Well, this morning, right now, when I'm done. I'm going to share it. Have a cool video that'll follow that. And we'll see you on Saturday. All right, guys? Appreciate you guys. I really do. These live streams are fun. We'll see you later.